I'm using a square of paper, and if you're using paper that's coloured on one side and white on the other, you will need to start with the white side facing up. The first fold is diagonal, so fold the paper in half, point to point, line up the 2 points, hold them down with your finger, draw back with your other hand and go across, and that will make sure that we get a nice accurate crease. I'm going to use the creasing stick just to reinforce that fold and make it nice and sharp. Open up the paper. We're going to take one side and fold the entire length along the centre crease. If you line the edge up all the way down that centre crease, when you press it down, you will automatically get a nice point at the end. Turn the paper round and do the same to the other side, all the way along the crease, and then press it down. We're going to start the tail. This point will be the tip of the tail, and we fold this in to meet these 2 corners of the paper. Once we've folded it in, we fold some of it back out. We don't fold it all the way out, we leave some still tucked in, so the point will come back like this. Turn your paper over. This point is going to be the beak, and here is the tail. We fold the beak point all the way back to the tail. Line them up, press it down well, we now fold the beak point to this crease that we have just made. Notice I'm turning the paper round and folding away from myself. You have a lot more control doing it this way because you can hold the paper with the backs of your fingers as you perform the fold. It keeps everything in place. This small triangle will form the head and the beak. So we're going to add the beak now by opening up this fold we've just made and folding this beak point onto the crease line. Now we've folded this in, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the tail. We fold this point back out, but not all of it. We leave some tucked in. So if I fold this point back to about this fold line, that should be just right. I'm going to use the creasing stick and press all those creases in nice and sharp, and then refold the head back over. Use the crease that we put in before. So now we've got the head and the beak. Very carefully turn your paper over, holding everything in place, and on the back you will see the crease that runs right through the middle. This crease was the first crease we made, and this is where we fold the duck in half. So his head and his neck and his body and his beak and his tail, everything folds in half straight through the middle. So it should look like this. You will need to hold the two sides together between your thumb and finger. Hold them down, and then with your other hand lift his head, and this will let the neck raise up. Don't go too far, you want an angle of around that much. When you've lifted this up, press in some new creases here where the paper had bulged up. That will keep the neck in place. We do the same for the head. So again, finger and thumb, just hold the back of his head together and push upwards to lift the head up, and then squeeze a new crease into the bulge. So now his neck and his head are in place. The next step is the wings. We take one layer of paper from the bottom, and this straight edge is going to line up along the back. So this will lift up and sit on the duck's back just like this. We'll press that down. Turn the paper over and do exactly the same on this side. The straight edge will run along the straight edge of his back. Again, the creasing stick comes in handy just to press everything down. And we're almost there. All we have to do is lift the tail up. So finger and thumb again, hold the base of the duck around about here, because we need these two sides to open out. As we lift the tail, the paper that's inside will swing outwards, so we need to let it swing out. As the paper comes up, squeeze a new crease in, and that will give the duck his tail. And there we are, one duck.